And now we come on to the foundation portion. It's gotten kind of cold here, so stuck on my fuzzy dressing gown. But let's get cracking, because there are quite a few things I want to definitely declutter. I have my Max Factor Lasting Performance foundations. I do keep these for makeup jobs. I am going to get rid of the fair one though, because it is the oldest and I've had it for a little longer than I should have. But these guys are all pretty recent purchases, so they are still good. And same with my Smashbox Studio Skins. The 1.1 I mostly used for myself because it is a little bit older to be using on other people now. And I will probably replace the one for my kit. But in the meantime, I have 0.5 and 2.4, which are perfect for the type of skin tones I work on. This is probably like the darkest I've ever needed to go, and that was on someone who had a spray tan. So keeping those guys and getting rid of the fair and keeping this one for me because I love it. I'm also going to be getting rid of the Lasting Finish from Rimmel. I have 2 bottles of it. I have it in 100 and 010. You can see like the stark difference in them. It's crazy. I've used a good chunk of both. If I want it again, I can always repurchase it. It's not incredibly expensive. I think it's like an £8 foundation. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of these guys. I'm going to get rid of the Nivea BB cream. This was in the light and it was advertised as new lighter shade. Does that look light to you? Because it don't look light to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it may be light in a country where they get a lot of sun, but certainly not here. This is not light. I'm also going to get rid of the Stay Matte foundation from Rimmel. It's a weird sort of moussey texture and I've never really gotten on well with it. So I'm just going to get rid of that guy. I'm also going to pass on the Estee Lauder Invisible Fluid. I know that they no longer make this. And I'm not entirely sure how long I've had it. Ordinarily on Estee Lauder products there is a code somewhere that can give you a rough idea of date, but I legitimately cannot find one on here, so I assume it was probably on the box. But I really enjoyed this foundation. I have a version of it from number 7 and a version from Chanel, so I'm just going to pass this one along or throw it away depending on if anyone wants to try it. I did really enjoy it and I have new versions. I'm also going to get rid of the whipped cream foundation from Max Factor because they don't make this anymore. As you can see, it was almost done anyway, so I don't feel too bad about throwing that away. I did enjoy it. It was very nice, especially for like the winter. It was very nice, hydrating, medium coverage foundation. It's a shame they got rid of it, but you know, fads, that kind of thing. Couple of older, higher end foundations I want to get rid of. The Evermatte from Clarins. This is in the shade 04 Cream. It is a little bit dark for me. I need like the next shade down. I have it in the Everlasting foundation in 03, which is Ivory, and it suits me a lot better. This is just a touch too dark, which is why I never managed to use it all the way up. So I'm just gonna get rid of that guy because I've had it for too long and it's just it's not really usable for me. The Lingerie Depot, they've reformulated this, and again, I've had this a really long time and I bought it secondhand. I bought it off eBay. I really like the shade of it. It's in the shade 12. I believe it was Rose something. I can't exactly remember. It is a little bit dark. It's a tiny touch dark and a tiny touch too yellow. But for during summer when you get that slight darkness with the sun, which we don't get a lot of in Scotland, It looked amazing and I really, really enjoyed the formula. So I may repurchase it in the future. I'll have to see if I go through any of these anytime soon. Pan sticks I'm going to get rid of. I have the shade Fair. I actually used to use these for concealing. Well, I used Fair for concealing. I used to use Nouveau Beige for contouring. It's actually really nice for doing sort of a cream contour. It has like a warmthness to it, but it also has a coolness at the same time. It's hard to describe, but it looks really nice as a cream contour. Very subtle. Or a cream bronzer. I've just had them a really, really long time. And Pan Stick smells a lot like the Cream Puff powder foundation. It just has that very old grandma smell that puts a lot of people off, but for some reason I find it intoxicating. I love it. I wish I could have it in a bottle. I'm also getting rid of the Inglot AMC Cream Foundation. It's a really nice foundation. It has a nice luminosity to it whilst also being kind of fuller coverage. It's like a medium buildable coverage. It's not the longest wearing foundation, but I do enjoy it. I've just had this for a very, very long time. I bought this when the Inglot store opened in Aberdeen and it closed down about, well, I say it closed down, it evolved into a nail bar. And then one day they just had the display cabinets sitting outside by the rubbish. But that happened about 3 years ago now. And the nail bar has since closed down, so they should have just stayed as Inglot. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I will probably repurchase this in the future. I really liked it. It's probably something I would pop in my kit as well. Especially for people with drier skins that can't really handle something like Lasting Performance or Studio Skin, because they can be a bit drying for some people. But yeah, really like the Inglot AMC cream. I think I'm doing really well with getting rid of foundations here. I'm getting rid of the Lumi Magique foundation from L'Oreal again. They no longer make it. Seeing a theme here. I never actually got a chance to really try it out. It was always just a bit too dark. I mean, this is a foundation in True Match in my shade, and this is the lightest shade that was available in the Lumi Magique. Like, if I'd ever gotten a tan, I mean, I suppose it would have been glorious, but I ended up just mixing it a little bit with some lighter matte foundations, and I didn't really get a whole lot of use out of it. I don't know, I never applied a full face of just it, so I don't know how I liked it, but getting rid of it now. Same with the True Match foundation from L'Oreal. I haven't used the full face of this in a while. I remember hating a previous version of it. Well, I remember loving it and then discovering I hate it. I think that might have been the bottle going bad, possibly. But I can't remember if I like this formulation of it. So I'm going to keep hold of it for a little while longer and see what I think of it. If I should come across another liquid illuminator, this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in Champagne Pop, which I am totally keeping because I love it. It is beautiful. It's totally different to any of the other liquid skin illuminators that I've kept. It is just so pretty. I have two foundations from NYX, both of which I was testing out for my kit. I really like the HD foundation. I haven't tried out the Invincible yet, I don't think. But I really like how the HD sits on the skin. I've used it on people before and I really like how it sits on their skin. So I would definitely recommend checking it out for like, especially photographic makeup. This looks really good on the skin. I have my Revlon Airbrush Effect Photo Ready foundation and my Revlon Color Stay foundation. I actually haven't used this bottle yet. I think I've swatched it a couple of times, but I haven't actually put it on my face. I've used this version of the Photo Ready. It's not all that different from the old version. It's just got less illumination in it. It's got less shimmer in it. But yeah, I will be keeping hold of both of these guys. We have all my MAC foundations. I have quite a few MAC foundations. We have the Studio Fix Fluid, the Mineralize foundation, the Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof foundation, and the Pro Longwear Classic foundation, all of which I'm going to be keeping a hold of. I haven't actually tried, the only one out of the three of them I've tried is the Longwear Nourishing Waterproof foundation. The rest of them I haven't actually had on my face yet. The Mineralize was gifted to me from a friend who found it a bit too dark for her. I got the Pro Longwear because I really like the waterproof one, and I've never tried Studio Fix ever, so I figured it was about time I did. So that's why I ended up purchasing that. These two I will also be keeping. The Derma Blend from Vichy. This is a very full coverage foundation. I would recommend any makeup artist having some of this in their kit somewhere. I also have the Idealia BB cream. I love this a lot more than the Nivea one. It's actually in a proper skin shade, which makes me super, super happy. What shade is it in? Oh, it's in light. It just says light shade. It's in light shade, and it's a perfect sort of skin color for me. I love it. Sometimes I will just slap this on with a bit of powder and then away I go. Perfect for day-to-day wear. Same with the oh, and I love the smell of it. It smells like all the Idealia products. I'm a big fan of the Idealia sleeping mask. I use it as a night cream. Love it. The Complexion Rescue from Bare Minerals. I love this stuff. It's like a tinted, it says a gel cream. It's one of the more fuller coverage sort of tinted moisturizer products I've ever used. It actually stays on my skin. It doesn't go too glowy. This one, as much as I love it, it does eventually break down on my skin a lot earlier than I would like it to. Whereas this stuff doesn't. It lasts a good length of time. I have the Tom Ford waterproof foundation / concealer. Really like this stuff. I've used it a bunch of times. Love it, love it, love it. I have it in the shade 15 cream. Is it 15? No, it's 1.5, sorry. 1.5 cream. Adore it. I also have the Double Wear Light foundation. Again, adore it. These are really nice, lightweight, full coverage foundations. Amazing. I have 3 here from Max Factor that I'm keeping hold of. The Skin Luminizer is a very luminous, glowy foundation. The Ageless Elixir, again, is a very glowy foundation. It has a lot more coverage to it than the Skin Luminizer and a lot more longevity. The Miracle Match Foundation, I haven't actually had on my face. And I don't actually know if they make this anymore. I believe it's marketed as a more dry skin friendly version of the Facefinity foundation, which I've just finished a bottle of, which is why it's not here. And I love the Facefinity foundation, and I really want to try it. I've just had it so long and I've just been putting it off. So I'm going to try it soon, definitely. I have 2 foundations from Maybelline. These are both classics of the Maybelline line. In fact, not long after I picked up a bottle of Superstay, they actually reformulated it, which is a bit of a bummer, because I hadn't even opened this one. But the Dream Satin Liquid is a very nice full coverage. It just glides over the skin, and it just has the most beautiful finish to it that I needed to buy another bottle of it, and it comes in a nice, comes in a better shade range than it used to. Same with the Superstay, comes in a better shade range than it used to. I believe this is the same as the old formula. I don't know what the new formula is like, but you know, you live and learn. I should have held out a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't know whether to keep these or not. I mean, I haven't used either of them. No, I haven't used I don't think I've used either of them. I think I've maybe used them once each. I'll keep them for now. I'll keep them for now, and then we'll move on from there. I have 2 of the Stay Perfect foundations from number 7. I picked up the original one after using a friend's version on her when I did her makeup, and I thought it was fabulous. And I picked up the Super Light foundation because I loved the Invisible Fluid so much from Estee Lauder, and I really like how both of them sit on the skin, so I'm going to keep them, use them up. I have one more L'Oreal foundation. This is the Infallible 24 Hour Matte Foundation. I don't actually know if I've used this on my face yet. I've lost count of how many times I've said that in this video, but I don't think I've used this on my face yet. I want to give it a damn good try, because I've heard really good things about the version that's available in America. We'll give it a try and we'll see. Of course, I have my NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in white. I'm so totally keeping this. This is like a lifesaver. And then we're mostly on to the very high-end stuff. I have a couple from Clinique. I have the Chubby in the Nude foundation stick, which I do like to take with me on occasion for touch-ups and such. And we have the Super Balance foundation, the Super Balance Silk Makeup, which I really, really like. I've been using this for the last week, and I have been enjoying it a lot. We have the Naked Skin from Urban Decay, which I really, really like. I also have the All Nighter liquid foundation, which I haven't actually tried. It's still in the box. So we'll get to that eventually. I have 2 YSL foundations. We have the Touche Eclat foundation, which is a really nice glowy foundation. It has a nice coverage to it. It's more of like a light to buildable medium coverage. It's definitely not full coverage. It's definitely not long wearing, but I do enjoy it on days I'm not at work. If I'm at work, I prefer the All Hours foundation. It's a really nice medium to full coverage, buildable, medium to full, buildable full coverage. Oh my god, I'm like tripping over my words here. But I really, really like how this stuff lasts. It's like glue on your skin, and if you don't wash it off properly, if you don't wash it off at all, it's pretty much still there when you wake up the next morning. That's how long this stuff lasts. I really, really enjoy it. We have the Tinted All Ultra Foundation and a backup of the Tinted All Ultra Foundation. I freaking love this stuff. This was the second high-end foundation I ever bought. The first one was the YSL Taunt Resist, which was their, at the time, version of this stuff. This is very similar to the Taunt Resist, maybe slightly more matte. But then I got this stuff, and it is the most beautiful coverage. Blends amazingly. Nice velvet finish to it. I love it so, so much. Hence why I have 2 bottles of it. I always have backups of this stuff going on. Love it a lot. I also have the Tinted All Ultra Cushion Foundation, which I haven't opened yet. I don't know what shade I got this in, to be honest. I got in the shade 010 Alabaster. But yeah, so you get the empty compact, and then the actual foundation is in a vacuum packed bag, so it should still be good for a while longer. I have the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. Again, I haven't tried this. I got it in the shade Light 44 Cool. Yeah, haven't tried it. I really want to. I really, really want to try it. I need to just take some time and just try the foundations I have. So we're keeping hold of that guy. I have the Matte Velvet Plus from Makeup Forever. Again, I haven't tried this, but I'm going to keep hold of it. The Double Wear from Estee Lauder. I've gone through a like 3/4 bottle of this before. I bought a secondhand one from eBay and fell in love with it. At the time I had 1C1 Cool Bone, I think it was called. But this time I picked up the shade 1N1, which is Ivory Nude. And it's much more my colour. Much better. Definitely a lot less yellow. Doesn't smell quite so much like paint. Still has a very strong odour to it. But it definitely doesn't smell quite as much as paint as, say, the Studio Fix Fluid bottle does. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting around to using that guy. Then we have the Perfection Lumiere Velvet and the Perfection Lumiere Standard. The Lumiere Velvet is more of the one that comes in a little shaker bottle like that. It's kind of like a more lightweight version of this foundation. I've used this foundation a couple of times and I remember really liking it. I haven't used the velvet version yet. But yeah, so I'm going to keep hold of those guys. The Candle Glow foundation from Laura Mercier. I love this stuff a lot, so we are keeping hold of that. Dior Forever. I think I've gone through at least a third of this bottle. I really like this stuff. I've been raving about this stuff long before Jaclyn Hill got her hands on it. But it is amazeballs. It has the perfect coverage. It's really long wearing. It's good for it has pore minimizing properties to it, but it's not over drying, and it's got really good long wear, good oil control. Really love this stuff. The NARS, don't even know what you're called, All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. Have not tried it yet. Haven't tried it. I think I've swatched it once. It freaked me out a little bit because it literally just comes out like water. Like I'll pump a bit out. It is water foundation. So I don't really know how it's gonna behave on the skin, and I've been a bit scared to try it. It has like this oily feel to it. But I've heard really good things about it. I mean, that little drop would cover like half my face. So I want to try it, but I'm scared to. I really should just bite the bullet and do it. If it's anything like the Becca foundation, this is the Aqua Luminous foundation. And again, this has, I know I'm putting foundation on top of foundation. This has more of a creaminess to it, as you can see. It's a slightly thicker consistency. I hope that translated well. It has a slightly thicker consistency to it than the Luminous Weightless from NARS. But I enjoyed using that the couple of times I did, so if the Weightless Luminous is anything like this guy, then I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. I also have a bottle of the Born This Way from Too Faced, which I've used a couple of times. I remember liking. I can't remember what I liked about it. I just remember thinking I liked it. I do need to give it another try. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a bottle of the Everlasting foundation from Clarins. I've had a bottle of this before. I got it in a shade way too dark because I started self-tanning for the first time and I thought, I'm going to self-tan all summer. And then I never did again after I bought the foundation. I bought it in the shade Wheat, which is about 6 shades darker than this. Oh, it was bad. It was horrendous. It was darker than this guy, and this is the darkest foundation I own. It was horrible. So I picked it up in a lighter foundation, in a lighter colour. It's a much more... Wow, I forgot how thick this foundation is. It is a really high coverage, very long wearing. It's a lot more moisturising than, say, the Dior Forever. So if you do find the Dior Forever a little bit drying, I would try the Everlasting from Clarins. But it's a much better match. And I just love the smell of high-end foundations. They all have this like cucumber freshness to them. It just makes me happy in the morning. I know that's really bizarre probably, but I just love that smell about them. And then lastly, we have my Giorgio Armani foundations. Yes, I said plural because I have 3. We have the Lasting Silk, the Luminous Silk, and the Power Fabric. Because, you know, why not have them all? The Power Fabric is definitely slightly darker than the other 2, but I think I picked up the lightest shade. I haven't actually tried out the Power Fabric. I've had on the Lasting Silk, and I think I've tried out the Luminous Silk once. But yeah, I need to try them out again and see how I like them. So these are all the foundations I'm getting rid of. I'm getting rid of 13 of them, and I'm keeping all of this over here. It's still an excessive amount of foundation, like excessive amount of foundation. But they're all foundations I'm happy with, foundations I'm excited about. Some of them, of course, are ones that are exclusively for my kit, like the Max Factor and the Dark Ball of Smashbox. But yeah, I think it's definitely a lot more manageable now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next section. Bye bye.